Imagine a kid tapping the glass of a fish tank, not smashing it, not breaking it, just tapping on the glass. The fish dart around, confused. This is what Russia is doing to the NATO right now. On Friday, 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets entered Estonian airspace. They stayed for 12 minutes. In response, NATO scrambled jets, and this led to widespread panic.
It was a very clear provocation. It was definitely meant like this, and that's why we are calling as well Article 4 political consultations, that if you put everything together, what has happened during the last couple of weeks, I mean as well the attacks against Poland with the 19 drones. So this is already a systematical NATO test, and that's why we asked that NATO allies.
This is not an isolated incident. It is part of a long pattern. First, it was Poland, then Romania, and now Estonia. All of them are NATO countries. So why is Putin tapping NATO's glass? What does he want? And what happens if the tank finally cracks? We'll start with Estonia. Like I said, 3 Russian jets entered the Estonian airspace. This was over the Gulf of Finland. Now you can see the map here. These jets remained in the Estonian airspace for 12 minutes. Estonia is a very small country, so 12 minutes is quite a long time. You can cover a good chunk of their territory in this period. Estonia detected the Russian jets. It had Italian F-35 fighters stationed in the country. It also had Swedish and Finnish planes. They were part of the NATO Air Force. Together, they scrambled jets. And soon the Russian fighters were forced to flee.
If Russian fighter jets entering to the NATO airspace, so it is a threat. And also NATO responded in a very adequate ways. NATO fighters went up, and of course we had all the readiness to respond. But yes, happily they were escorted after 12 minutes out from NATO airspace.
Estonia has now called for consultations under NATO's Article 4. Article 4 allows any NATO country to call a meeting. It is invoked when a member feels threatened. It's serious, but not as much as Article 5. Article 5 is the Mutual Defense Clause. It says an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all. Nonetheless, a meeting under Article 4 is significant. It's a signal. It's a way of saying that this cannot be business as usual.
It is clear that Russia is testing how far they can go. And we had very intensive discussions about the international situation and also regarding Russia's actions, really. And of course, our plea is also to the countries that have more close relationship with Russia is to really call them on stopping this.
And what is Russia saying? Well, Moscow has obviously denied it. It says its jets flew over neutral waters of the Baltic Sea. So this was not an incursion. In fact, the Kremlin has accused NATO of false allegations. It says this is a way to flame tensions.
We have never heard the Estonian side mention that they possess any such objective control data. That's why we consider such claims to be empty, unfounded, and part of a completely reckless campaign to escalate tensions and provoke a confrontational atmosphere.
It is not the first time that this has happened. In the last 2 weeks, this is the third such incident. The first was in Poland, where Russian drones entered the airspace. Then there was Romania. Its airspace was also breached by Russian drones. And now it is Estonia. This time it's Russian jets. Like I said, all of these are NATO countries. Estonia was also part of the former Soviet Union. Together, they make up the eastern flank of NATO. So is this a threat to NATO? The US president was asked about it. He said he doesn't love it.
Russian jets entered Estonia's airspace today for 12 minutes. Do you see that as a threat to NATO?
Well, I'm going to have to look at it. They're going to be briefing me in a short while, so I'll let you know about it tonight or tomorrow.
What's your take in general? Just being
I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it when that happens. It could be big trouble, but I'll let you know later. They're going to brief me in about an hour.
So why is Russia poking NATO? Well, it is classic psychological pressure. Romania and Estonia are among NATO's smallest states. They're already rattled by the war in Ukraine. So this builds more pressure on them. It keeps these countries on their toes and it keeps NATO in panic mode. And that's the point of this. Vladimir Putin is not looking to start World War III with a single jet or drone. He's looking to tap the glass. He wants to see the fish scatter, to measure how quickly NATO moves, how strongly it responds, and how united it really is. And what will NATO do? The UN Security Council is meeting over this. Meanwhile, Poland has issued a strict warning. It will shoot down any flying object that violates its airspace. France has deployed 3 Rafale jets. They will protect the Polish airspace. So NATO is acting. But NATO is also walking a tightrope. If it responds too lightly, Putin gains confidence. If it overreacts, the risk of escalation skyrockets. And that is the dilemma. Russia's taps on the glass will keep coming. The only unknown is how long before one of them hits hard enough to crack the tank.